definition of creativity?
Oh man,
Tough question.
that's an impossible question. I think it's so many things, but I think to me, I think something truly original, creating something, building something, making something that's truly original that nobody's ever seen before. I think that's creativity that's best and purest form.
What is your source of inspiration in Adland?
In Adland?
Yes.
A lot. I love advertising, so I really enjoy. I'm inspired by, like everybody, I'm inspired by. What I'm probably most inspired by in the Adland is the big creative platforms that are simple and can go global. And so you see a brand that really looks and behaves and sounds the same around the entire globe. Because I think that's a very, very hard thing to do. I think it's a little bit easier to tap into regional trends. A little harder to say, okay, here's an idea that's so big that it can span across the entire globe. So those are my favorite ideas.
In order to describe an advertisement, a great piece of work, what basic qualities it should have?
Simplicity. I think it has to be simple. I think all the best work in our business is simple. I think in some way it has to be smart. That can be funny smart, that can be serious smart, there are many different forms of smart. But I think that there's, in all the best campaigns, there's some intelligence behind it. And I think if it's simple and intelligent, then I think, and probably lastly, I think it has to be sort of the best advertising is inextricably tied to that brand, right? So it's really, there's no question what that brand is that you're advertising. It couldn't be anything else other than that brand. I think that's a tough thing to do because there's so much parity amongst products out there.
Should brands take stances on divisive social issues? What are the risks of entering a polarizing debate for a brand, and how can these risks can be eliminated?
I think that sometimes it's okay for brands to take on social issues. Obviously, I think it's great, but I think you do have to be a little bit careful around. Big, giant global corporations simply cannot risk taking a position that is going to offend a lot of people. I mean, it's just a very hard thing for a big, giant corporation to do. But I really love, I think some of the best, if you look at, just for example, look at what won in Cannes this year. Many of the gold lions were social causes. I think they actually said 70% of the gold lions, or 60, I can't remember the line, were actually cause related. So there's a trend in our business that's moving more into social causes. And I think that's a good thing because I just spoke actually here and I talked about the importance of using the power of creativity to solve the world's toughest problems. And I actually do believe that creativity can solve the world's toughest problems. And I think that we are all in an industry that is one of the most creative industries in the world. So we should be using that power and harness it to make the world a better place.
What are the challenges of putting very bright, creative people in a room to write a script? And how is consensus ever reached with so many egos in the room?
Well, I personally wouldn't put a lot of writers in a room to write a script. What I find is that somebody is going to come up with a great idea. Oftentimes, that comes from one person's head. Just the core, the nugget of the idea. Somebody has that idea. And then I think what's so great about our business now, collaboration, is that little idea that's got potential. Everybody else in the room of writers that you're talking about then can take that idea and they can talk about it and make it bigger and better and bigger and better and bigger and better. But I think the kernel of that idea comes oftentimes from one person's head.
What is the secret of making a brand accept a highly brave idea?
Oh man. Well, it doesn't happen very often in our business when there's a really, really brave idea. But I think there's no secret to it other than it has to be absolutely right. And if it's really, really brave, the last thing you want to do is put a controversial campaign out there that isn't even right for the brand. It's not, it doesn't help anybody. So I think that I think the other thing that really helps, that I have found some of our best campaigns that are the bravest have come through great collaboration with the client, with the brand leaders. And you sort of talk about it with them and they help you build that idea. And then there's sort of ownership about this big, brave idea on both sides, both the client and the agency. And a lot of the best work I've seen comes that way.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.